The American public has yet to see a full sentence from the Mueller report. We don't know what's in it. One of the few things that we do know is that it explicitly does not exonerate the president of at least one crime. That's where we are right now. Special Counsel Robert Mueller finished his 2-year investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election, the Trump campaign, and whether Trump committed obstruction of justice in trying to shut down that investigation. Mueller, he's officially done. He delivered a confidential report of his findings to Attorney General William Barr, and since then, he's already been photographed more times out and about in DC than he has in the entire past 2 years. Good for you, Bobby. Enjoy your time off. But the end of his investigation is truly just the beginning for the rest of us. Here are 5 things that you need to know about the Mueller probe. Here's how the rules of a special counsel investigation go. The special counsel writes a confidential report for the head of the Justice Department, the Attorney General. The Attorney General then has the power to decide whether or not to make that report public, part of it or all of it. While he's deciding, he writes his own summary for Congress. Now, AG William Barr wrote a 4-page summary for Congress that did not include a single full sentence. So number 1, we need to remember, the Barr summary is not the same as the Mueller report. A lot of news headlines may lead you to believe otherwise. So all we've got is William Barr's take on the investigation. And why wouldn't we take his word for it? Let's rewind a bit. Barr wrote a memo in 2018 saying that he thought the Mueller investigation was, quote, fatally misconceived, and that he didn't believe President Trump had committed obstruction of justice. So it's not really a huge surprise that a year later, his own summary of the Mueller report would conclude that Trump did not commit obstruction of justice. His bias was pretty open and clear all along. So what did Barr's letter to Congress say? Here's the second thing that you need to know. According to Barr, Mueller confirmed that the Russian government interfered in the 2016 election and did not establish that the Trump campaign was criminally involved with that. Mueller apparently punted on the question of obstruction. There's a key partial quote from Mueller in the Barr summary. While this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him. That's just one reason why Congress and the public want to see the full context of the Mueller report. It sounds like Mueller gathered a lot of evidence to try and answer the question of whether Trump committed obstruction of justice, and then didn't reach a conclusion on his own. Some legal experts say it's Congress's role to decide, but AG Barr stepped in himself to let people know that he doesn't think Trump is guilty. Again, not a surprise. As for the sections about Russian interference, we'd again need the full report to really understand Mueller's conclusions. The quotes that we do have are very specific. It's focused on election interference by the Russian government in terms of 2 operations, internet trolling and the hacking of DNC emails. According to Barr, the report did not find that the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in these efforts. Keyword, government. That leaves out a lot of other questionable behavior by the Trump campaign when it comes to Russia, like campaign chairman Paul Manafort giving polling data to a Russian associate, or Trump advisor Roger Stone talking to WikiLeaks. Why did they do that? We still don't know, and we don't know the full breadth of what Mueller looked at. The Barr summary raises more questions than it actually answers. Which brings us to number 3. Congress is fighting tooth and nail to get the full report made public. In a 420-0 vote, House Democrats and Republicans actually came together to pass a resolution saying the full Mueller report should be made public. That's bipartisanship like we haven't seen in the Trump era. The Attorney General says he wants to make the report public in due time in accordance with rules and regulations, but that's really a vague answer that doesn't tell us if or when he'll actually make it public. So Congress is taking matters into their own hands, saying that they will call Barr and maybe even Mueller to testify, and they'll subpoena them if they have to. President Trump has even said the public should see the report. Really.
I don't mind. Frankly, I told the House if you want, let them see it.
Number 4, a reminder. The Mueller investigation has already turned in 37 indictments, and so far, 5 prison sentences with more to come. Let's try a little thought exercise. Imagine if, instead of rolling indictments over the course of 2 years, Mueller kept everything secret, and then, all at once, in one day, indicted Trump's campaign manager, his personal lawyer, his national security advisor, his longtime personal advisor, a foreign policy aide, and 13 Russian nationals. Some of those indictments for the Trump advisors are related to tax and bank fraud, some of them for lying to the FBI and Congress about campaign contacts with Russia. And the Russian nationals and organizations were indicted for interfering with the election on Trump's behalf. All of that in one day. It would be the biggest scandal ever, right? That's exactly what's happened over the course of 2 years. Somehow we've reached the point where the president not being charged with a crime is seen as a victory, even though it was never likely to come from Mueller anyway. Impeachment is a whole other political question that has to do with Congress. But we shouldn't forget all the people that Mueller has indicted already. And finally, number 5. This is not the end of investigations into Trump or even Trump and Russia. There are over a dozen open investigations into Trump, his family, and his businesses in other jurisdictions. Some of those were spun off from the Mueller investigation. They include Trump inauguration funding, the Trump Foundation, Trump Organization real estate deals, Trump's taxes, the hush money scandal, and campaign finance violations. Trump is already named as an unindicted co-conspirator in the case of Michael Cohen making hush money payments to women who allege they had affairs with Trump. And the House Intelligence Committee is still trying to get the full truth about Trump Tower Moscow, a hugely lucrative deal that Trump was pursuing during the 2016 campaign, and another thing that he and his associates have lied about. So we can mark the end of the Mueller investigation as a turning point in the Trump presidency. But which way it's turning, we still don't really know.